Good evening, delegates. I am Dr. Shoptik Majumdar, the organizing secretary for SAMSACON 2.0, and today we will be introducing Lecturio, our partner in this for SAMSACON 2.0. Lecturio is a platform where you get access to 3D models and lectures of almost every subject, and it helps you to prepare for USMLE and like that. So we have with us the Lecturio team and the representatives, and they will give you a brief introduction of the platform. So I would like to invite the Lecturio team to take over.
Hi, everyone. It's great to be here. Thank you so much for letting me take part in this conference. So my name is Kate. I work with Lecturio. I'm here with my colleague Septria. And today I'm going to present a little bit about some of the science-based learning techniques behind the Lecturio platform, show you a little bit of the platform and how to use it. And then we've got a special deal for you for being part of the conference. So I'm going to share my screen. Let's see. All right. Can everyone see this? I hope so.
Yes, it's visible.
Yes? Okay, excellent. Yeah, so let's get started. I'll have some time for questions at the end, or you can leave them in the chat and I'll make sure to answer anything and everything. So we like to call our presentation Get Ahead of the Curve from Day One. So this does not refer to COVID, although we do have some great COVID resources and learning resources. But rather, this is about getting ahead of the academic curve. And so talking about how we can get started and how you can learn better and prepare yourself for careers in medicine. So today's speaker, again, my name's Kate, or Caitlin as it says here, and my colleague Septria is also here backing me up if we need any more information. So he is a current medical student as well, and I am not a medical student right now. So what is Lecturio? Some of you may have already heard of Lecturio and some of you haven't. Both ways, that's totally fine. In a nutshell, Lecturio is a new mindset. So our focus, yes, we do have a lot of USMLE prep and exam prep, but our goal is that you can use our product to actually master the medical concepts you need to know and connect the dots and really learn. So with that being said, we're all in one from day one. So we have video lectures, clinical cases, spaced repetition, retention quizzes, schedules, guides, 3D anatomy, several other wonderful features. And it's everything that you need to get started with medical school from day one, going all the way through the end and your licensing exams. And Lecturio is affordable compared to our competitors, especially, but compared to many platforms that are offering, USMLE prep or NEET PG prep or anything like that. We try to keep our product as affordable as possible so that you can better access it. So, stop spending thousands of dollars or anything on video-based education. We're trying to make this more accessible for you. Who are our educators? So, of course, as we do have many, many video lectures, something's very important is who's actually teaching you on our platform. All of our educators have won teaching awards. So not only are they very knowledgeable, but they're very good at explaining what they know to students. They come from some of the world's best universities. If you add up all of their teaching experience, they have more than 200 years of combined teaching experience, which is pretty great. And many of our faculty come from schools such as Harvard, Johns Hopkins, University College London, and many more. And also 24/7 availability. So of course, time zones being a challenge sometimes, and your schedule being very busy, all of our videos and everything is accessible anytime you want, morning, noon, night, and it allows you to learn at your own pace. So it's not, you have access to everything the whole time. So you're able to go back and review it anytime. So, okay, let's get into some science-based learning techniques because this is very important. Obviously, right now with COVID, medical school looks a little bit different than it usually does. But that's actually, we see part of this as advantageous in the sense of, what you can do with your learning and streamline your learning to better fit you. So the old learning style of just being in classrooms and, focusing there, sometimes it's very good and sometimes it's helpful, but it's not necessarily the best approach, especially in, a world in modern technology when we have so many options at our fingertips. And so we've moved into some of our evidence-based learning. And so kind of switching from this classroom first approach to learning before class and then applying your knowledge during class. So whether that means you review some videos before class, you look at a case and then you go into class and you're actually applying what you've learned and you have more of a chance to ask questions. And so that's kind of the basis for where a lot of Lecturio's platform and design comes from. So what is our evidence-based learning system? We call it Learn, Apply, Retain. So you'll see that tagline all over our website and everything. And so we've kind of divided into three main pillars, so to speak. So you can learn with video lectures. So these are high-yield video lectures that I was telling you what you need to know about the most important topics. All of our lectures come with downloadable slides, adjustable player speed, closed captions, and many of them also come with 3D anatomy models that you can use independently of the videos. Apply. So how are we applying? Well, you're learning all this information, but what does it really mean when you're working with patients? So we have a very advanced Q bank, so question bank, that has clinical cases in it that you can utilize to say, okay, here's how I'm going to actually apply this knowledge, about the subject and the system in real life through these clinical cases. And then retain. So you get to retain with spaced repetition. So these are quiz questions and they come up after every video lecture to make sure you understood what you just watched. And just you review these questions, not only when you've just watched the videos, but we remind you to review them every few days. And the questions that you get right and are most confident on, you'll review them, but maybe not as much. The questions that you get wrong and the questions that you need to review more, we'll bring them back to you more often in order to help encode them in your memory. So evidence-based learning strategies, there are many, but these four are also kind of already built into the system here. And so interleaving refers to alternating materials being studied. So that could be, you're watching a video and then you say, okay, I'm going to look this up in my reference book and kind of compare and make sure I understand what I'm learning. So you're using multiple different senses there. Linking abstract concepts to concrete examples, especially in our newer videos and many of our clinical videos. After you learn a concept, then we do have a case there as well within the video, and the professor kind of walks you through how you'd solve that using what you just learned. We also have the 3D models that can help you do that, especially say for anatomy and etc. And then we also have problem-based learning. And so problem-based learning is, this focus with your clinical case questions. And so, rather than just starting with information and moving into clinical cases, which of course you will also do, you can also learn from clinical cases. And so, you answer your clinical case question and then you go back and you say, okay, what did I miss here? What do I need to review? And you kind of use your Q bank as a way to focus your learning. And then assessing to boost retention and your spaced learning. And so, like I said, we have these recall questions that are sent back to you. And we have a lot of different assessment tools so you can see, how you're doing, what areas you might need to spend more time with, etc. Okay, so now that I've told you all these great things, let me just quick show you. So here we have the Lecturio homepage if you've logged in. So I've logged in here. Like I said, these are our three main pillars. So our learn pillar with the video library, apply with the question bank, and retain with spaced repetition. So let me just show you a quick look into the video library. I've got my video library selected as preclinical for USMLE step 1. As you can see here, we have a laundry list of different curricula you can choose from. So let's just stick with the library for step 1. And right now I have this sorted by subject. You can change that to organ system, top USMLE diseases, or you can look specifically for study schedules and guides here. So let's pop back into subject and let's go into anatomy. So here I have chosen a video for us, triangles of the neck, just because I know this video very well. But our video player does look the same for every video. I do have this muted right now. As you can see here, we have subtitles that I'm able to put in English. I can turn them off, or I can pick any of these languages here. I can speed up the player, or I can slow it down. So this is normal speed. I usually keep mine up pretty fast, but you can adjust it depending on your needs. As we move through the presentation, you'll see that we've got slides back here that will always come up. And so you're able to actually download the slides, and you can use those to take notes, either on a tablet or if you print them out, or however you'd like to do it. You're able to bookmark the video and kind of save it. So see, I've saved this in my folder videos with notes, but you can make all of your own folders. We have our 3D model over here. You can take notes, and you can also view a transcript and search through the transcript. So say I want to look at the subclavian vein. We can search here and say, oh, this is what I'm looking for. I can click right here and the video will go to this section. And as you change languages, so let's just put this in Spanish, for example, and you search, the transcript is then in Spanish or in any of the other languages available here. So the 3D model is really, really cool. And so while you're watching the video, or you can pause the video and then just go through the model, you're able to move them around. You can hide different parts if you don't want to see them. You can fade, so you can say, okay, I don't want this to go away completely, but I need to see what's behind it. You can change the angle from any angle you want. You can select and say, oh, I want to learn more here. You can fade, you can isolate, and look even closer. There are many different features. So when you have this in the full screen mode, then you can actually do even more. So let's see if my internet connection is stable enough to pull this up. Yeah, so here we go. So in our full screen mode, you're also able to zoom in even more, and you're able to then learn some more. And we have different, so here we go, we've got our different triangles and kind of different views. And here, when you have these boxes, you can click and it will often give you some different information and bring you in up close and personal. So that is the basics of the 3D anatomy. I highly recommend taking a look at it. So this is our video player. So let's skip to the end of this video really quick. I'll let it finish, and then we'll see these questions pop up. So here we go. We have 3 questions that go with this video to confirm that you understood what you saw. Obviously, we didn't watch the entire video here, so I'm just going to go ahead and click one, and I'll say, I'm not very confident. Oh, but I did get it correct, so it's memorized for 5 days. Let's see, let's definitely get one wrong. I'm very confident. Ooh, but it's not so good. So I'm gonna have to retake this one. And then let's just grab any answer. Oh, that one's also wrong. So I can go back here and keep guessing. And so this one I had gotten wrong at first, but now it's correct. So it's memorized for 4 days. So you saw the first one was for 5 days, second one was for 4 days. This number of days memorized is based on your confidence level. So if you're happy, middle, not so happy, and then if you get the answer right or not. So this is the video player. So that's pillar 1 of Lecturio. The second pillar is the question bank. So these are your clinical case questions. So something really cool that we actually have now is a specific exam preparation area. You can, of course, create custom tests and learn on your own how you'd like. But in here, we do have specifically a 40-day study schedule for the USMLE. We have a 99-day schedule, which is coming out, I believe, in about 2 weeks. It already exists. We just don't have it in here yet. We have subject-based preparation. So this is a combination of clinical case questions, videos, and quiz questions that'll help you, help you prepare for anatomy and embryology, for microbiology, pharmacology, etc. And we also have self-assessments and USMLE practice exams that you can take. So let me just create a custom test really quick to show you what the QBake infrastructure looks like. We have tutor mode, so I'm going to keep that on to show you. We have timer mode, so we can set it so you do have to finish on time. And so this is really nice when you're preparing for an exam, so you can actually practice with the correct timing. And then here you can select the subjects that you want, and you can also add specific systems. I see someone raised a hand. Let's do questions at the end of the demo, okay? When I can pop back out of the screen and actually see questions, okay? So let's just go ahead and pick anatomy and embryology, and we'll start our test. So obviously, we're not going to do all of these questions. But here is basically what the QBank looks like. And so this structure and this, how this looks here is very, very similar to what it would look like on the USMLE or many other licensing exams. They have a very similar, computer-based test structure. For these case questions, obviously you have your case here, and you have your multiple choice answers. Now, while, there is one correct answer, there might be other answers that are also somewhat correct, but there is one that is the most correct. So let's just go ahead and click B for this. And here we can say submit answer and show explanation. So we're in tutor mode, so we can show this explanation. And oh, too bad, we got it wrong. So here I can say, okay, I guess I didn't understand this question. Let's see how I do. So we can look at the correct answer explanation that explains why that answer is correct. But then we also down here have, we have answers or explanations for why the incorrect answers were incorrect. And so this can also help you learn, because it is just as important to know why you got the answer right as it is to know why the other answers are wrong. We also have related videos. So this video can pop up if you say, I got this question wrong. I need some more information. We have the video right here. And then we do have references to the first aid for the USMLE book. It's a very popular reference book that many, many people use to study for USMLE. All right, let's go to the next question here. So this question, let's just say, we answer it and we're not going to show our explanation yet. We'll look at it later. We'll go back. Third question, oh, you know what? Maybe we need some lab values for this. So if you click over here, you have all of the information you could possibly need to answer this question. You're also able to take some notes. If you want to have notes and say, okay, this question is really hard. So when you're going back to study any questions with notes, you'll already know. There's a calculator, of course. And so, all right, let's select this. And let's not go through all 40. Let's just end our block here. And then, oh, it looks like I did very poorly on my test today, but that's okay. So I can also review. So obviously when you get questions right, they will be marked with a green check or a check in the green circle. But then you can review your questions afterwards. So even if you're not using tutor mode, you're still going to be able to see these explanations later. All right, so question 2, we also got that one wrong, and it explains why, and it has learning materials for me to then review on my own time. And so you can go through even the questions we didn't answer. We still have all this information here. So that is the second pillar of Lecturio. So that was our apply. So we're applying this knowledge. So the last one is retain. So this is what we're doing with spaced repetition. So you already saw these quiz questions before when they came up after the video. But here's a section where you can actually review all of your questions. So it's not just the ones you know are relevant to the videos you just now watched, but it's all the questions you've ever answered go into this deck. You are able to reset this deck if you'd like, and you can set reminders when you have more than 10 questions you need to do, and that'll come back. And just because they say they're due today doesn't mean you actually have to do them today. But it's recommended that you always try to turn your circle green because it's going to help you remember all the information. So let's just say, oh, see, this is correct. And I've gotten this one correct before. So it's memorized for 21 days. If I want to here, I can also watch the related video. So for example, oh, I got that one wrong. You know, let's figure out some more information about DNA repair, and then we can watch this related video, which we're not going to do right now. So these are your 3 pillars of Lecturio. So we also have a study planner, so you're able to add videos to your planner whenever you'd like. Bookmarks, which are the folders that I mentioned earlier, you can sort videos into certain bookmarks. If you find one that you say, oh, I want to watch this later, you can create a folder called Watch Later. Performance, this is generally your performance, so you can kind of track which, let's see, we'll go into anatomy because that's where we were before. You can track the questions that you're getting correct, and also the percentage that you're getting wrong. So I'm, clearly I'm having some trouble here with the thoracic viscera, but, if I keep practicing this, I will get better. So you can utilize this performance data to kind of streamline your studies and know where your weak spots are so that you can review and get better. And then lastly, right now, this is actually on our website and it's available for everyone, even if you don't have a Lecturio account. But these are our COVID resources. And so just to tell you what we have here, because this is very relevant today, we have our overview. It's a comprehensive clinical overview, which let's open that in another tab. We have videos about the complications and more information there. And these are regularly updated, by the way. We have video lectures related to an overview and management. We have interactive case files, which is very cool. I'll show you those for a second. Our studying at home guide, which gives you some tips on studying at home. And we've talked to some of our experts about, some of their self-directed learning techniques and how, how you can better focus and, learn from home as we're all experiencing right now. Let's see. I don't know if I can click over to that tab. There we go. So this is our concept card for COVID, and this covers everything from etiology, transmission, epidemiology, et cetera, in a very, very detailed format. And so this is updated regularly, as I said, and this is something that could be useful for you as well as for medical students. These interactive case files, I think, are very, very fun. You can start your case and then you kind of walk through, and this is the information on how to use the cases, but here's a walkthrough. And so you go through and then you have to say, okay, here, I'm reading all this information. And then we say, oh, all right, what should we say? Yes, oh, but that's not correct. So it'll explain to you why. And then we move forward in the case. And so this is kind of helping you to figure out the, some of the proper way of treatment from these specific case studies. So we partnered with Johns Hopkins to do this. All right. And yeah, so that is a very basic overview of the Lecturio platform itself. Let me hop out of screen share for a second to see what these questions are. All right, let's see.
Kate, I've summarized the questions on your...
Oh, on my phone.
Yep.
Yes, sorry about that. Okay, so so we have a question about being an ambassador. I'm actually going to have you email us directly about that. I'm going to paste that email address here in the chat. If you have questions about the ambassador program or have been a part of it before, you can email us there. The COVID resources we're planning to keep them online for the time being. I don't see them going away anytime soon, just as I don't see COVID going away anytime soon, unfortunately. I will tell you guys about subscriptions in a second. And related to subscribing to the QBank alone, that is not possible because we actually have, it's an all-in-one subscription. So if you do want to use the QBank, all of the questions are free. It's just all these answer explanations and the linked video lectures and the additional information. Those are additional features. And so you are able to use the QBank and answer all the questions for free with a free Lecturio account. But for the additional information, unfortunately, that's not free. All right, let me share my screen again and we'll keep going. All right, so can you see my screen, everyone?
Yep, all good.
Yep, okay, perfect, thanks. Okay, so like I said, Lecturio is an all-in-one from day one study resource. So as you saw, as I just showed you the platform, you have your videos, we have clinical case questions, we have retention quiz questions in the spaced repetition. We've got our study planner, study guides, self-assessments, a lot of different things that you can use in combination, not only for preparing for a big exam or a subject-based exam, but for the entire time that you were in medical school. Like I said, we only looked at the one anatomy video, but we cover all basic science and clinical topics. So these are kind of broken up into preclinical and clinical, specifically USMLE and step 1 and then step 2 CK. We also do have a neat PG curriculum available that you can select in the video library. And it'll then just divide everything out based on what you would need for that. Okay, so one other topic that I was asked to briefly speak about today is about residency in the US and about the USMLE. So obviously I've said the word USMLE many times in this presentation because our content is kind of focused around the USMLE, but it's possible to use it for everything, for preparing otherwise as well. But why are we focused on the USMLE? The US needs international medical graduates. So that's people who went to med school outside of the US who then come to the US to do residency and then work as medical professionals. About 1/4 of the workforce is actually made up of IMGs, which is really cool. In 2020, so this year, almost 3,000 non-US IMGs matched with their specialty listed as their only choice. And then more than 4,000 non-US IMGs matched to first-year positions. So that's a lot. If this is something you're interested in, there's definitely space. So to get there, though, you do have to take the USMLE, which is why all of this is relevant. So if you're not already familiar with USMLE, which I'm sure many of you are, step 1 is assessing your basic clinical knowledge or basic foundational science knowledge. So this is your main foundational sciences and anatomy, behavioral sciences, biochem, pathology, your communication skills as well, because that's very important, and a few other things. USMLE step 2 CK is more about the application of knowledge on physiological conditions and diseases, as well as more important physician tasks. So as I briefly mentioned earlier, we kind of divide this with step 1 as preclinical and step 2 CK as clinical. So there are a total of 4 tests you have to take actually with the USMLE. So we have 1, 2 CK, we have 2 CS, which is a patient interaction, and then step 3, which is kind of a combination of these patient-centered vignettes, patient interactions, writing patient notes, and actually, doing that sort of thing. There are some changes coming for USMLE Step 1. If you haven't already heard, they made a big announcement a couple months ago. They will be reducing the number of attempts from 6 to 4. So instead of being able to try to take the exam 6 times, you can only do it 4 times now. Step 1 score reporting is going to be changing to pass-fail. And they're going to be increasing the number of items that assess communication skills, systems-based practice, patient safety, legal and ethical issues, and professionalism. Of course, being a doctor is all about the medicine, as you all know, but it's also very important to, make sure that you're able to communicate that to your patients who might not have a medical background. And of course, in medicine, there are so many legal and ethical issues and challenges that you'll run into every day in your life as a physician. So this is, part of making sure that you're prepared for that. The big one, though, this switching from switching to pass-fail, is that when you're applying for residency in the US or anywhere, usually you need to submit your Step 1 score. And because that will no longer be numeric within, a year and a half or so, this is very important because residency programs will likely then also be using the Step 2 score to kind of differentiate between their candidates. So while it's very important to, take both, the weight, I guess, of Step 1 versus Step 2 is going to shift slightly. Or that is what we are expecting. All right, so I'm wrapping it up here really quickly because I know you maybe want to ask questions or are bored of my voice. But just to remind you, Lecturio offers the most complete bundle. It'll take you from day 1 of med school all the way through these licensing exams, whether it is, USMLE or another licensing exam. We're here to start you and get you a solid foundation. We have our on-demand video lectures. All concepts are covered from pre-med through clinical knowledge. We have strategies, we have assessment tests to help you prepare for subject exams, for shelf exams, for, USMLE itself. We have test-taking strategies. We walk you through how to actually go through these question bank questions, so these patient-centered clinical vignettes. We show you how to practice with the question bank and where you can then apply that and use these clinical cases to both learn and also test yourself to prepare for exams. And then, of course, we have our study schedules and guides. So our most popular is our 40-day study schedule for Step 1. We have one coming for Step 2 CK very soon, like I said, within the next couple of weeks, I believe. And then we also have a 99-day study schedule, which is available on, I can show you where it is in the platform. It's available right now as a PDF, but you can also get that. It'll be in our QBank as well, just like the 40-day study schedule soon. So yeah, so here is how you find that 40-day schedule. So you go in your QBank, go to exam preparation, and then we've got this 40-day study schedule, the self-assessment that I talked about, and then that 99-day schedule is also going to be here too, very soon. All right, so students really like us. We've had a lot of great experience, and this is from students around the world. So not just in one place. People have increased their exam confidence. We've put things together so that you can study on your time and on your terms. And as you can see, 93% of our users would recommend Lecturio to a friend. So here is me as a friend recommending Lecturio to you as well. So like I said, we have teaching award-winning educators. We are an all-in-one study solution. We have high success and satisfaction rates, and we do try to make Lecturio as affordable as possible. Speaking of which, just because you all are here for this presentation and taking part in SAMSACON, we have provided a special discount just for you guys. So here is this link. We can put this in the box as well. And this is just good for this weekend only. So this is a significant discount on our 12-month plan, which brings the price down. And yeah, so this is just some information for you. I guess you could screenshot this, or we'll send this link in the chat. And if you're interested, you can take a look. And then of course, you can reach me at any time. You can reach me at any time here via email. We'll put that in the chat too. And if maybe you're not ready to buy and you want to give Lecturio a try, you can also do that for 2 weeks free. We've provided a special registration for SAMSA. So I know this has been a lot of information, and there are some more questions. So let me just check in here and see what else we have that I can answer. There is true that a 6-month work experience in the US is needed to apply for Step 2 CS. I am actually not the expert to ask on that. If you shoot me that email or that question via email though, I will make sure to figure it out and get back to you, because I don't have that personal experience, but we will find out. All right, let's see what other questions. If anyone has anything, you can write in the chat. I'm seeing the Zoom chat. I know we're live on YouTube as well, so I'm not exactly sure if I'm linked to that, or if someone could tell me if there are more questions coming in from there.
Yeah, so far there are no questions on the YouTube chat.
All right. All right, well, like I said, we are happy to answer your questions. Satria has put the email address down in the chat here that you can contact. And of course, the organizers of SAMSACON have this as well. And yeah, if there are no other questions, then I wish you all a very wonderful day. And thank you so much for taking part in our presentation.
Thank you, Team Lecturio, for the wonderful presentation. I think the platform will be a good study guide for either preparation for USMLE, or be it NEET PG, or just the normal study curriculum at medical school. So I think all the delegates will benefit greatly from that. And thank you, everyone.
Thank you all so much for taking part.
Thank you for the time.